we had some technical difficulties, namely my fucking internet died. Which is, basically since I'm hosting this shit, if my shit dies, everything fucking dies.
This is not like the old days where we're only just going through the Google Hangouts. Usually when Tony drops out of the Google Hangouts, the show still continues.
Yeah.
But now since we're kind of, because it's all spread out through all the different ones, now what happens is as soon as Tony goes out, everything goes out.
Yep, pretty much. You saw a little bit of the sausage being made. All right, so let's pick up where we left off, basically. And this is yeah.
So yeah, it was Tony's. And Chris said that he would just that he got all the platinum trophies in
Resident Evil. Yeah, he got it twice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what it was. So I said, and this is the part you guys didn't hear. Okay, I'm going to ask it again since you didn't hear me. What's the common thread between all the games we listed? Every single one of us named one game over and over and over again. Every single one of us. Sonic. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? So that makes me very, very happy. Sonic is awesome, man. I bought that game 3 times, son. I bought that shit on PS4, Switch, and Xbox because I want to have it on all my systems.
I have two.
All right, so let me open up the questions. I don't know if anybody's in the chat anymore, but for you MP3 guys, obviously you didn't hear any of this shit. Everything's good on you guys' end. Although I may add we're experiencing technical difficulties. Okay, so we're up to Hashling and Slasher still. So his second question is, and this is a good one too, and I'm going to go off on a little bit of a rant too. Carlos and I were talking about this earlier. All right. Does nostalgia really boost the scores of games for certain people? If so, should it matter if the game is fun regardless of nostalgia? This is regarding Super Mario Odyssey because I have seen many people saying that the game only gets high scores on review sites because it's Mario or because it's Nintendo. If it weren't a good game, nostalgia wouldn't be able to save it. Man, I'll save myself for a little bit because I got some shit to say. Adam, why don't you start since you were kind of already hinting at it?
About the whole nostalgia. Yeah, I mean, people hold Mario to a high stature. They're like, oh, this is it. This is Mario. So, of course, it's going to be good. And then they just look past everything else. To me, it doesn't feel right. I don't like it. I don't see the big deal with it. I understand its progression and with the whole hat thing and taking over and all that, but it just doesn't feel like a Mario game for me. So, that's it. I don't see it as a perfect 10. Some places are giving a perfect 10. I don't see it. I just don't see it.
It doesn't seem like a Mario game to you, or it doesn't, or you
so
think
both. It doesn't do it for me, and it doesn't seem right. The whole thing. I mean, it looks like a good game. I played a little bit of it. It seems all right. But if you were to slap a different name on it, I bet it wouldn't get a 10 out of 10.
Hey, Brett. Well, by the way, you weren't here when Adam said this, but he had never played the Mario 64 and all those games. He doesn't.
I did play them.
You never cared for that change in the Mario game.
Yeah,
you wanted the cool old school side scrolling stuff.
Yeah.
My question to all the people who say that it gets a boosted score, like I feel like it's kind of a yes and a no. It is in a genre that is kind of by itself at this point. A lot of platformers have been abandoned. So to those people, I would say, show me a better 3D platformer.
Ori and the Blind Forest.
Oh, is that 3D platformer?
That's not a
3D platformer.
Gotta think about it.
Yeah, I guess I may as well go now. Yeah, I actually agree with Adam on this one. I'm playing Mario. Don't get me wrong, I like it. Very good game, but I do feel those scores have been overblown, and I love this happened with Mario Kart too. No one's talking about some of the control quirks, right? With Mario Kart, no one mentioned the fact that you have to use the face buttons to accelerate and slow down. It's like we all use the top buttons to do that shit. Mario Kart can do that. Let me finish. Same thing with Mario. Mario is slippery as shit. When you press forward on Mario, he does a little dance and then starts moving. Then to get him to stop, it takes a little while. I'm like, no one is mentioning this shit. Now, granted, The only 3D Mario game I've ever played is Super Mario 3D Land on 3DS, but that had the same issues. I'm like, why the fuck
I
is
don't like
Mario
that one either.
so slow to move? No one's mentioning this shit. It's saying, oh, this game's fantastic, 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10. I'm like, you guys need to calm the fuck down, man. This game is good, but it is not like Jesus Reborn, you know?
I think the thing is that, you know, the what you're talking about has been kind of established since Mario 64, which he does a lot of those same things.
Yeah, and Mario 64 was not that good either. You know, let's just be honest, man.
Again, you've also played that hindsight, and there's a lot of all kinds of other stuff behind it. But again, all the Mario games have always, you know, since Mario 64, you know, those 3D top-down, you know, the third-person type of games, those games have always played the same way. They haven't really changed anything. Even from what I was seeing when I saw you playing, I'm like, oh, okay, I know what that is.
So my question to you is that okay?
That those games
haven't been updated.
Games, I mean,
Tony.
Yeah,
you can answer this question because you praised Sonic Mania when somebody said that Sonic felt floaty.
Yeah,
and you said this is the way that it's always felt. This is how Sonic is supposed to feel.
Yeah, but Mario never felt like that because you got to understand where I'm coming from.
All the 3D Mario games he has.
Yeah, but I'm not.
That's Manny's point. No. Manny's point is you can't say he hasn't always. When was Mario 64 released? Let me look this up.
Oh, 1995, 1986. But Brett, you're missing the point here. I don't have the connection with those 3D Mario games, so I could see the flaws, right? I've been playing real Sonic since day one, you know? So I'm comparing this game to old Mario games, Super Mario, you know, World and shit. Mario was precise in those fucking games.
Then you would have to say, you would also have to talk about Sonic Adventure in that sense.
How's that?
Because Sonic did not control.
Yes, and Sonic Adventure was not a good game.
Well, it was a good game for the time.
No, man, you played that. I played that shit 2 years later. I'm like, oh, what happened? It was 2 years. You know, that game is floaty as fuck too. You know, granted, Mario is way more precise in those 3D Sonic games, but I just find it interesting. No one's actually talking about that. You know, it's like, and then when you're trying to like jump on an enemy, it's not that easy either because you'll overdo it and stuff. I don't know. The controls are taking me some getting used to, you know? And I really do think, going back to the question, if you have a nostalgia for Mario, you're going to be okay with it. If you don't have a nostalgia for Mario, see, even with Zelda, right? When I played Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, I thought the game was just okay. I thought it was overblown too. I don't have that connection to Zelda. I played one Zelda game my entire life, Ocarina of Time, on the 3DS in 2011. I have no connection with Zelda, so I could see all the flaws that other people aren't seeing, you know?
So would you say... Go ahead.
I found a 3D platformer that's better than Mario.
What's that?
Portal.
Oh, I don't know if you can.
That's kind of cheap, man.
Well, because it's true.
I guess that does count, and I would agree with that. But
yeah, what's your question, man? To me, Brett.
Oh man, that threw me off.
Fuck this man up, Carlos.
You literally, Carlos, you did the equivalent of like Sauron like exploding with the ring.
Yeah.
In the Lord of the Rings, like literally just went across the ground.
But anyway, I need to deliver the flip side of this, right?
Oh no, I remember my question.
Go ahead. Before you forget.
Would you, since you feel this way, would you say that Sonic Mania got inflated scores because of nostalgia?
I would. And I'm glad you said that because I was just about to say that. On the flip side, I really like Sonic Mania because of the nostalgia. If I didn't have that nostalgia for Sonic, I may not have given it that high of a praise. You know what I mean?
You gotta admit, on the flip side, Sonic, before a bunch of their games had shitty reviews. So it's not like every single Sonic that comes out gets amazing reviews. This one was legitimately good.
Yeah, no, it was legitimately good. Just like this Mario game is legitimately good. I just feel that it's not the greatest game of all time, like all these websites are saying. It's a good game. It's a good game. I know, Adam, you don't like it at all. I do like it. I just don't think it's like Jesus.
So let's say you close your eyes and you open, and then you find out it's a different character. It's Jimbo Jones running around doing this. You still think it gets this?
Yeah, I'd be like, hey, this game's pretty imaginative. Yeah, I would say that, you know. The Mario, remember, I'm not that attached to Mario. I stopped caring about Mario 20 years ago, basically 25 years ago even, you know, so I'm not attached to Mario like that, you know.
I would have been actually happier if this were a Kid Chameleon game.
Kid Chameleon bringing it back.
But then again, I mean, I would issue a challenge to anyone in the chat or in the show right now who has like a better history with Mario than me, and
Oh.
I would still say the same thing that Tony's saying, because I
Oh,
still
okay.
have.
Carlos, get us with some facts. Okay. And before you tell us because you beat fucking Mario already, so you really could talk. Tell us your history with the Mario franchise, and then tell us what you think of this game.
Yeah, I've played every single mainline Mario essentially. Like ever since the NES, I've played every Mario since every generation. I played Super Mario Bros, Super Mario Bros 2, the whatever that copycat game was called, the Lost Levels 3, World, Sunshine 64. Even like, man, people always bring up like the Wii U as a failure. Wii U had great Mario games. It had Super Mario 3D World and Mario Maker and New Super Mario Bros 2, which brought it back to sort of like the old school thing, which came out first in the 3DS. Like Mario has been a great franchise, but it's a safe franchise. Like it always introduces like one new mechanic every game that kind of propels it over the other. Like, Super Mario Galaxy game, it's like it adds the gravity effect, which makes the platforming a little bit different. Like Super Mario Sunshine added the water pack thing. Super Mario 64 added the 3D, which is a big jump. Super Mario 64 is one of my favorite games of all time because it was so innovative. But as far as Super Mario Odyssey, like it's a great game. It's polished as heck. It's a complete game. It's a complete experience. But when I see like all the scores, all the praise it's warranted, and it's number one on GameRankings.com as like the top game critically of all time. It's like, come on, guys! Like,
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
we all love Mario. Like, I understand. Like, part of what goes into reviewing Mario games, it's like, it's another Mario hit. It's another great Mario game, and it's like, what other game gets the benefit to propel its review score because the franchise has been so good?
Zelda.
Oh yeah, that's true. But like, why can't we just judge a game independently of its franchise? Because if you think about it, like Mario's always gonna get the boost of the previous Marios. It's like, what's the point? Let's just judge it for what it is.
I think it's a little bit difficult for people when you have that sort of nostalgia running along with with the new thing. I mean, people get so excited when they hear about these new, you remember the things of the past, you remember having a good time from before, and then that factoring into another. I mean, here's the thing: Nintendo does not hasn't made very many seriously bad games, and they're usually fairly very fun games. And I feel like this Mario game in the long line of the 3D Mario games has been very, very fun games. Even with Mario Sunshine being the kind of lowest of the tier, still people like to have
93 Metacritic.
Exactly.
Jeez.
So I do feel like the nostalgia is a bit of a factor sometimes when it comes to things. But like for a game like Sonic is a very kind of interesting one because we had so many years of bad Sonic games.
Yeah, but I agree that even so, like it's still factored into the review scores for Sonic because everyone mentions
it is
back to old Sonic.
Yeah. I'll be the first guy. I mean, I didn't review the game, but yeah, totally a factor for that. The nostalgia is very, very real, so it does affect shit, for I don't think you can say it doesn't, but yeah, I like this question. It was a good one. But yeah, some games, by the way, I do need to say that, again, both me and Carlos have Switches, and we kind of feel the same way about these games, So it's not just me.
It's because I can see through the bullshit.
Yeah.
Like I had a fucking Wii U. I played a great Zelda game. I played a great Mario game. I played 3 great Mario games. I played all these other fucking good games. But then somehow the Switch comes out and there's super hype, and then everyone's in the bandwagon. And it's like, where the fuck were you guys before? Like suddenly Mario became great again. So like I don't get it, man. Like it's
make Mario great again.
Yes.
Exactly. Like Mario's been this way for like since forever. But now that since the Switch is like super popular, now Mario can now it's like people saying, "Oh, it's like this is the best game ever made."
Yeah, it's bullshit, man.
I don't know. I don't know if it, and maybe I'm wrong. People are like, this is literally the best game that's ever made, but I kind of feel like part of it too is like, well, there's two parts. The first part is that Mario is hard to criticize, especially when it's as highly polished as this. Either it's your type of game or it's not. If you like 3D platformers, there's a lot to do there, and there's not a whole lot that you can criticize in terms of like, I think they did this wrong. You could, there's a lot of stuff you could say like, well, I'd like to see this that they didn't implement, or I'd like to see this, but for the most part, the things that they present you are so well polished that they're tough to criticize, and I think it makes for a, I'll be honest, a kind of a homogenized game that it's not that it's the best game, but it'll get several Game of the Year awards, I'm sure, because it's the game that everybody in the room can kind of agree on. Everybody will have their personal favorite, but then they'll be like, yeah, but I mean, Mario's a good choice. So you go ahead.
I'm sorry, Brett. It's a safe game. Yeah, I agree. Like Mario doesn't have a story. So that gives it the advantage of not getting criticized, as opposed to other games that get stories criticized. So when Mario gets released and it's like it's the same Bowser steals Peach and you have to get Peach, it's like, oh, but this doesn't have a story. Oh, but you can't criticize it because that's how it's always been.
Yeah. It avoids it, and also I guarantee you, with as few good 3D platforming games that are out there, the fans that are either Mario fans or platforming fans are probably the ones actually set to review this, right? Like we know how reviewing works. There are games that you're like, okay, I got handed this game, but when a new Mario game comes out, somebody on your crew is going to be like, oh, I want to play this, and they're going to be the ones reviewing this. So everybody keep in mind, the people putting out the reviews probably had to claw over a pile of each other to get to be the one to review the game. So there's just inherent bias there, and then on top of that, it's difficult to criticize what's there, even if you aren't already biased for the game. So that leads to this natural light being cast on this game, like, oh, it is perfect, it is 10 out of 10. It doesn't mean that it's perfect, that it's 10 out of 10. It means that it's reviewed by people who are starved in a franchise, or starved in a genre that doesn't have that many entries, and this is the first well-polished game that nostalgia plays a part in it, but it's one of a very it's only part of it. It's I think the other two parts are that it's tough to criticize, and that it stands alone, and it's people have been waiting for it, so it's reviewed by fans as well. So
I'll tell you this much, but it didn't help Super Lucky's Tale.
Yo, Super Lucky's oh man, ooh, that got eviscerated.
So it got eviscerated as not such a great VR
and
game.
I'm glad you bring that up.
I'm
I'm glad you bring it up, Carlos, because some of the Xbox fanboys were saying that basically the reason Lucky's Tale got such a bad reviews is because everybody was still so enamored with Mario. Oh man, it's crazy.
Oh, I hadn't heard this.
I don't know. I mean, Super Lucky's Tale. I mean, to be honest, Super Lucky's Tale. Even when they first showed it, like I was like, this just looks like a generic type of game, like this kind of generic looking animal fox character.
That's how. I'm sorry.
It looks like the Bubsy of this generation, to be honest.
And Bubsy's coming back too.
Oh yeah, that game's gonna be. I'm sorry, that game's gonna be a piece of junk too.
Oh man. All right.
Never had a game.
All right, let's move on here to the final question. Going back to what we were talking about before, Mr. Daniel J. Okay, so Sucker Punch's new IP, Ghost of Tsushima, brought back memories of Onimusha and Tenchu. What do you guys think?
I never liked Onimusha or Tenchu. Wait, no, I like Tenchu, but Onimusha, I never liked Onimusha because it was like, how come you're not letting? How come we're playing Resident Evil Samurai? That's all I can think of.
I loved it for that same reason. I'm like, it's Resident Evil with swords, man. I don't got to worry about bullets. I just slice everything.
When Devil May Cry came out, like I don't know, whatever year, how long it came from the Onimusha game, like this is the way this samurai game should be.
That
like
blew that out of the water. Yeah.
But I didn't get flashbacks from those games. I was thinking, and this is in Brett like this. I was thinking more of Bushido Blade.
Ooh.
where not the control or not any other thing, but something that was a little more grounded, like a more of a grounded, serious sort of samurai type of game, rather than these kind of fantastical ninjas that jump off walls games. But who knows? Maybe Tsushima is going to be like that. Maybe it's like maybe he's going to be jumping off of walls and being essentially Ninja Spider-Man.
Yeah, what do you guys say? I really have no input in this, so
Yeah, me neither.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Onimusha and Tenchu never interested me, so you know, when I saw, I'm like, hey, it's another samurai game. Here we go. You know,
You know what disappointed me about the Ninja Gaiden game?
What's
the
up?
one that came up for Xbox? That the fact that it wasn't all in even though it has been established that Ninja Gaiden games do take place in the modern world, I was a little disappointed that it didn't all take place in like a feudal Japan-ish world. That it was still like a modern world that you went to.
it's like a
it's like
modern future world. Ninja Gaiden games they have their own kind of history too. That's not even their real world. You know, it's interesting.
Also, Tenchu isn't a samurai game; it's a stealth game.
It's a ninja stealth game. Yeah,
It's kind of the precursor to what Assassin's Creed it became, actually.
yeah. You in that game you had a semi-open world and you had multiple ways that you could kill your or assassinate the people. Which, by the way, wasn't that game made by From Software?
It was.
Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm. But
God, I
I
hope
feel
they
like,
remake a
I
Tenchu
wish
game.
I do. Yeah, I personally, I don't think of Tenchu that much with this game, but I just like I've said it before. I do like the fact that it looks like it's a more serious take on the feudal Japan environment rather than kind of the fantastical elements like you would think with the game Neo. So I'm cool with that, and they're basing it into at some point in history, which I'm interested to see. But I'm again, as I always am, I'm very I keep my excitement to a certain level. When I finally see the game, that's when I'll really be like, all right, this is what I want to play. But at this point in time, we saw some pretty cinematics, just like we saw with Red Dead. So I still haven't made any sort of decisions as to if this game was going to be the greatest game ever or if it's just, something.
The greatest game ever.
How like some again, like everybody sees these awesome trailers. Oh my God, it's the greatest. I'm like, okay, all right, let's go. Let's see some more. Same thing with the Spider-Man ones. I'm like, everybody, bro, Spider-Man, bro. Yeah, like they're like that. I'm like, hey, good Spider-Man game. All right, let's see something. I haven't seen really.
You're not showing enough enthusiasm. No, you gotta go.
I'm not exploding. I'm like, oh, God. And then this is when Carlos goes in. But if it was Metal Gear,
But Death Stranding.
I would say.
But Death Stranding,
I
though.
would say the thing. I mean, if you guys remember with the Death Stranding reveal for me, I also kept my enthusiasm to a specific level.
Very Japanese of you.
It never goes up above a certain level because I don't know what Death Stranding is. All I've seen is 2 experimental films. That's all I saw.
That's hilarious. All right, man. So that's going to do it for us. So thank you for watching and listening. Leave us some questions in the comment section of this episode here on YouTube or on the Coalition. We'll answer them on next week's show. Subscribe to Throwdown on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Follow us on Twitch, Mixer, Twitter, and Facebook at Throwdown Show. Links are located in the description below. Once again, our show is Tony Polanco. And tonight is joined by Emilio Lopez.
I'll see you later, guys. Aren't you excited for Metal Gear Survive?
Woo! Chris Seeley.
Hey, take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero.
Mario Odyssey is still a great game. Don't get things twisted.
They're gonna get it twisted, bro. They're gonna get it twisted. They're gonna get it twisted. We hate fucking Nintendo.
Yeah, it's just good to have perspective. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. Brett Murdoch.
It's nice that things actually seem a little less toxic when video games are coming out.
Oh,
Just
man.
a little, though. Just a little.
Yeah, that's because you don't go on Twitter. And Adam Vale.
Later, people. Have a good week.
All right, man. We'll see y'all on Thursday.
Wait. Whoa.
Hey, what?
Adam.
Hey, hold on. Actually, wait, before that, you know what comes out this week, right? X gonna give it to you. We're gonna give it to you.
Give it to you.
So either way, I don't want to say anything. But I'm going to try to get a very special guest on for Throwdown because originally we were going to get Jez Corden on talk to us about the Xbox One X, but because he's in Germany right now, time differences are a little So I'm gonna try to get somebody else, man, somebody big. I don't want to blow up any spots. I haven't even talked to this man yet, but I'm going to try to get somebody big who's a big Xbox fan, who's happy about this, to be on the show and give us his perspective. So it should be dope.
Adam, Adam disappointed you.
What?
You didn't say like Lucha Underground or
It's done.
Lucha's dead, son.
WrestleCast or what?
That's the thing. No, it's done. Everything is done. We got canceled. WrestleCast got canceled because of some shit we said, and that's a whole other thing. And
wait, what? Are you serious?
Well, that's
no, we can't break that story now. We'll talk about it later.
Okay, we'll talk about it later.
Okay. So, I'll talk about it later. But is WrestleCast gone?
I can't talk about this.
Damn.
I'm just saying right now, Lucha Underground is not on anymore. So that's it.
All right. About that. I guess. Yeah. All right.
All right, man. We'll
Later,
see
people.
y'all on. Yeah, later, people. All right, we'll see you next time, man. Peace out.
To everybody.
Laters.
Laters.